Good day everybody, today I'm going to be showing you how to play the game Uno Wild Jackpot. Now if you have never played Uno, I'm going to go ahead and give you a real quick overview as to how the game works. Typical Uno. Anyway, what you're trying to do is you're trying to basically be the first person to get rid of cards, and the way you're going to basically play is there's going to be 7 cards dealt out, and then there's going to be a card dealt face up. And what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to play a card that either matches the color in the background or the number on the top. So you could play another red card, or you could play a 4 of a different color. Speaking of different colors, there's 4 different colors in this game that are on the cards. You have red, yellow, green, and blue. Here's an example of how it works. Let's just say it's my hand. I have a yellow 4 that I can play since I'm matching the number, or I could just simply match the color like this. Now, if it turns out that you don't have a playable card in your hand, say you don't have a yellow card or an 8, or wild, you can go ahead and draw a card. And if it turns out to be a card that you can play, like this one, you can go ahead and play it. If it's a card that you can't play, you'll just simply put the card back into your hand. Now let's say you actually have a playable card in your hand. You do not actually have to play these if you don't want to. You can just go ahead and draw a card. So let's just say you drew a card. Now this would be the only card that you would be allowed to play if this was a yellow. You can't change your mind. Since this is a blue card, you're going to go ahead and put it back in your hand. Now there are other cards outside of these number cards, and the cards are numbered 0 through 9. And here are some of the extra special cards that they have. Of course, here's some of your number cards. You have here a draw 2. If you play this card, the person who is after you is going to have to draw 2 cards, and he is going to miss his next turn. You have a skip card. This basically is going to skip the next player and go to the player who is after him. And if it's a 2-player game, you'll basically get to go again. This is a wild card. If you play this, you can play this on any card that's on the top, and you'll just simply call out the color that you would like the cards to be. So if you have a lot of green cards in your hand, calling out green would be a good move. This is a reverse card. This basically is going to change direction. So if you're playing in this direction, it's going to go in this direction. And again, if it's a 2-player game, this is going to allow you to take another turn. This is the Wild Draw 4 card, nasty card. If you play this, the person that is after you is going to have to draw 4 cards. However, you have to make sure that you do not have any playable cards. So for example, if you happen to have a yellow card that you can play on this, and you play this draw 4, technically you can do it, but you might end up getting challenged. So if someone calls you out on it and you get busted, you're going to have to draw 4 cards yourself, take this card off, and then play the playable card over there. Now here's the thing that is different about this game, and that is the jackpot cards and the wild jackpot unit. So the jackpot cards look like this, and again they're in 4 different colors. Anytime you play this card, you're going to go ahead and pull this lever down, and you're going to simply follow what it says, and I'll tell you what the commands are in just a minute. And then you have the wild jackpot card. This you can play on anything, and you'll basically do the same thing. Now inside of this unit there are 8 little cards here that are a little thicker, and they're actually little whiteboards. Like, what you're going to do is you're going to write a command on each of these cards, and they can be anything. You can make up whatever you want. You can say draw 7 cards, give up all your wild cards, cluck like a chicken, whatever, and then you're going to put all those cards in this unit. So anytime you play one of these jackpot cards, you're going to go ahead and spin this unit here. Now here's what the different things mean. If you end up spinning this, you're going to go ahead and push this down and pull out the special card and then read what it says. So in this case, this one says play all red. This is a command I wrote down. So then in this case, I would go ahead and play out all of my red cards here on the top of the pile. In this case, this means everybody is going to go ahead and get one of these cards. And starting with the player whose turn it is, he's going to go ahead and read whatever his card is. Everybody else will go ahead and follow suit. Right here, this simply means that you're going to press this card down and give it to the player on your right. This means that you're going to pick this card out and give it to the player on your left. This means you're going to draw 4 cards. And this means that you're going to get to play 1 card of each of the colors. So you can play them in any order that you would like to. And that is how the game works. So mainly the main difference with this game is the wild jackpot cards that you're going to be allowed to play. And then anytime you play it, you'll just simply spin this thing and follow whatever the directions are. So in this case, I would take this and give it to the player, whatever the command was. Let's just say it happened to be cluck like a chicken or something like that, he would have to do that. So that's the main difference with this game. The object is you're going to be trying to get rid of your hand of 7 cards, and then if you get down to 1 card, you're supposed to say Uno. If you don't say Uno and you get busted, you're going to have to draw 2 cards. But whoever goes out first is going to be the winner of that round. Now, in the typical rules, you're going to be playing to 500 points. And anybody that has any cards left over in their hand after someone goes out is simply going to count their points using this score pad over here. And the first person to get the 500 points is going to obviously lose the game. But then after that, you're going to look at the scores to see who has the least amount of points. And whoever has the least amount of points is going to win the game. And that, folks, is Uno Wild Jackpot.